Okay, woke up this morning and I had to do this video because I haven't done a video in a very long time and I like to keep my channel up and running, even if it means one video. But I should be reading more, like I always say. So the topic is religious apologists. And there's a group of people that I have to deal with on a regular basis, and they try to defend religion. But I don't think defending religion is really what they want to do. I think defending religion is maybe the consequence of what they're doing. They're more anti-atheistic. So they would go after atheism in very strange ways, in very irrational ways, because atheism is all about rationality. So in their minds, I think what they're doing is they're going after atheism with a bunch of stupid nonsense and thinking that that would solve the issue. Maybe they're thinking about a matter antimatter kind of thing, you know. But I would still classify them as religious apologists. A lot of what's peppered in their stupid nonsense is basically the fact, or not really the fact, but the idea that religion is good and religion is good for everyone and everyone should be religious. Even though I don't think they themselves are religious, I think they just have this vague notion of God kind of like banging around in their heads, you know. But they're really, well, what they really are is anti-atheist. That's the soul of their argument. Um, but yeah, they don't make much headway. They don't make much sense, as I've said. So it amounts to being really annoying more than anything else. Like it doesn't actually prove anything or make any sense about anything. And to tell you the truth, my dirty little secret is yes, you want people like that on the side of religion. You want people like that on the side of religion because they'll be the ones that really weaken it. And if there's a death blow, it'll be because of those people. They just make it way too easy. But this is not anything. This is not in any sort of high-profile arena or high-profile scenario. So my struggles with them will be forgotten when I'm dead and gone, except for these videos and this video specifically. Um, so yeah, with that in mind, I want to say that I do have empathy for religious people. I used to be religious myself. I grew up attending religious schools. First, I was in a Presbyterian school until I was 8 or 9, and then I was at a Muslim school, and then I graduated from that school. They called it primary school in Trinidad, and I went to what they called college in Trinidad, which is more like high school, and that was a Muslim school as well. So, um, yeah, I know what it's like to be religious, and I even went through a 2-year stint of being very religious. Like, I used to sit in mosque and like, oh Allah, Allah, Allah. I used to, including the rocking back and forth, because I saw older men doing that, right? They would sit in mosque, squat in mosque and Allah, 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 Allahu Akbar, Allah, Allah. And I was really into it. I was really into it for 2 years, but. Um, Kind of after that, I ended up, sorry about my nose thing. After that, I really started questioning God and what is God and does he even exist. I once got like, I wasn't bitch slapped. I was slapped at the back of my head. Nothing crazy, like just like a kind of a slap in the back of my head for saying I don't believe in God in religious knowledge class. So I do understand what it's like to be religious, and a la Brett Weinstein, I do believe that, or think that religion has evolutionary roots. I think it is something deep within us, but not religion in the sense of the Quran or the Bible or anything like that, but that belief that there is something bigger than us that is sentient and that's kind of watching over us. I believe the drive to believe that sort of thing is evolutionary. I think we compensate for our imperfections by having this more perfect aspect of ourselves kind of fill in the gaps. Um, I think that's what I think happens. So I do empathize on that level as well. I do get that longing for maybe not religion but spirituality and things like that. And I believe there's ways we could go about it to mend the absence of religion. and I think, you know, Sam Harris does it with meditation a bit. I'm not sure. It's something I want to look into, but he does talk a lot about the transcendentalism of meditation and the spiritual aspect of it. And I mean, you know, there's even drugs, right? Psilocybin, from magic mushrooms and weed and other oh god, what class of drugs are those? I forget. Um, Hallucinogens? No. Psychedelics. Sorry. Ooh, ooh. Yeah. So psychedelics, I think, may hold a key to basically experiences that are outside our normal range of thinking and thoughts and things like that. Um, I believe we just need to find things that replace religion and that replace religion in more productive ways. So as much as religion is, I think, and a la Brett Weinstein, thinks that religion is evolutionary, there are a lot of evolutionary behaviors that we've overcome. I mean, on a basic, I can't name one off the top of my head right now, but on a very basic level, we've seen life expectancy increase. From the turn of the century, it was somewhere, what, around 35 or something, and now we're in 2020, and life expectancy is like the 70s or 80s, right? So we can get over evolutionary things, like we can. So I don't feel it wildly, impossible to. Um, I mean, in a previous video I made, I was talking about how we'll never really how the atheist longing for lack of belief in all populations and every single person on the planet Earth is probably never going to happen, and I don't think that's going to happen. Um, I think different countries and different societies move at different paces, and some go backwards while some go forward, and some go forward while some go backwards. So, so yeah, I mean, um, yeah, we're never gonna get rid of belief. Anyway, um, that's all I really want to say. Oh, one more thing. So we're talking about empathy for the religious. So my empathy for them is limited as well. Except for children who are brought up in a certain religion, um, I think adults have more of a conscience, and I think they should be a little bit more educated on the matter. And I am not saying that let's deal with Islam. Um, I am not saying that all Muslims are terrorists. I am not saying that. I am not saying that. And I know that's sort of like a buzz line that comes from the far right. You know, all Muslims are terrorists. Trump says that we are at war with Muslims, and that one is actually a line that's echoed by Sam Harris. Or actually, Sam Harris said that, and then Trump picked that up along the way. Um, so yeah, we are at war with Islam, and this is where, the far right and centrist thinking kind of start merging in people's minds, and things go all screwy. The problem is that once those things start merging, the center starts getting polluted by all this far right rhetoric, or even far left rhetoric. The center gets polluted by, because they're both extreme, but there's some things that kind of resonate, and those things cause a merger that is less than wanted. You know what I mean? But I have to say, like, if you are a moderately religious person, passively, not actively, passively, you are lending credence to that religion, and you are lending credence to that religion in all its forms. Extremism, conservatism, fundamentalism. You are giving it validity by defending it, by practicing it. And I'm not saying you're actively contributing to this. I mean, most Muslims in the world are peaceful people, blah, 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 blah. But you lend validity to the religion by practicing it. I don't think that's a outlandish thing to say. I think that comes naturally, obviously. Um, so with Muslims, you got the extremists, you got the terrorists, and they're all reading from the same book, right? They're all reading from the same Quran. But it's like the Catholic Church as well, to give another example, with pedophile priests and the higher ups that protect them, right? Like, the religion's supposed to be so good and so celestial and so aligned with God and goodness that they cannot afford to have their pedophile priest outed or put in jail or anything like that. So the higher ups, even though they themselves aren't pedophiles, protect the lower downs, or the cardinals and the bishops or the priests, because because the religion is so good and the religion must be upheld at all costs, right? But of course now there's a expose and a lot of these things are coming out in the open. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. I just wanted to make that video just to keep my channel up, and that's it. Bye.